Welcome everyone to Selenium Training by Wisdom Trainings. And today guys, we will be discussing some of the concepts of object-oriented programming. If you have any doubts regarding the course or the video, you may go over the website in the free videos section and drop your doubts and questions over in the Speak Your Mind section. Okay, now let's just talk about some of the object-oriented programming, because you must be wondering right now that what is the need of discussing this object-oriented programming concept. So, would like to inform you that the new version of Selenium works with object-oriented programming. Okay, so to work with Selenium in these days, you need to understand and you need to understand the concept of object-oriented programming, that how the flow is going on. Okay, so if I'll say object-oriented programming and Selenium are going to work together, then you will be able to understand and work easily with Selenium. Okay, now when I talk about object-oriented programming, in the object-oriented programming nowadays many of the languages are coming with this concept. Okay, now let's just take a small example. Let's suppose this is a real-time example that I'm taking. Okay, suppose this is a bank. Okay, and inside the bank there are different sections for different functionality or facilities that are provided by the bank. Okay, suppose these are different counters for all these facilities, and in the another section there is a different facility. Now when I talk about these facilities, they are restricted to their columns and their desks. Okay, they cannot come to another desk to do their work. And when I talk about accessing these accessing these facilities, I need to have an person, right? I need to have a customer. This customer will go inside the bank. This customer will go inside the bank and can access any of the facility and can reach to any of the desk for any kind of queries, right? But this person cannot access all these facilities which are inside the bank by standing outside only. He need to go inside. Okay, so this is somewhat a connecting the same way according to the bank system, that there are some features inside and we need to access them, so we need to have a connection. We'll be discussing that according to the language now. Now for suppose I have a class, okay, and inside this class I have some local variables and some functions. Okay, if I'll just write them as well, these are some of my variables and these are my functions. Okay, now when I have to access them, I need to have something to access them. But before going to that particular part, that how we can access this class, one thing is to be understood, that this class has the scope only inside this box, right? Outside the box, outside the scope of this class, these variables and functions are not directly visible to the interpreter. Okay, so if you even try to access them outside the class, I'll show you that in a moment. Just a minute. This is my class A. Okay, now let's just take an example of how this can be done and how these variables and functions are not visible outside the scope. Okay, I'll go to my Eclipse over here, and inside there I'll be just making a module. I'll use the short form. Okay, now for suppose I have a class example. Okay, and inside this class example I have a function, say demo, and inside this we have a print statement, let's say this. Okay, likewise I have many some functions also like this only. I have three functions, demo1, demo2. Okay. Along with these functions, I have some variables as well. Let's say I have a variable a is equals to 10. Okay. Now, when I have to access them, I'll just will directly can say, right, okay, as we call functions, this is a function, this demo is a function, right? So I can simply call it like demo2. So you can see that I am getting this demo2 in the help, but this demo2 is not related to this class example. It's of some another class, right? Likewise, if I talk about demo1, this is also a part of some another class. And this demo also you can see in the whole help box. I cannot see the class example over here. Right. So I cannot directly use them, I cannot directly access them because outside the scope, from here the scope, the body of the class is starting till this part. These parts are not visible to the interpreter. And how I can access them? Let's just take a look at this. I'll take an example of Java that when we have to access these variables, I create a new object by using this class, this new keyword and the class name. By doing this, the object is created. And inside the object, if I'll say, what is inside the object? Okay, just a minute. Inside this object, what will be there? There will be all the non-static variables. Right, in Java we support non-statics, right? But over here in Python, we do not use any new keyword. We do not do this in Python. If I'll just say, this is not in Python. But how we access variables in Python is kind of similar. What we do is, we just directly take the class name. We can say class name. Okay. By doing this, the object will be created. Okay. And inside the object, what I will be having are the local variables of the class and the functions, the local functions. This will be inside my class now. So if I'll take an example of I'll go into the Eclipse and I'll show you how it's going to be. So I'll just will go over here in the Eclipse and I'll say example and I'll make the object. Okay. Now when I have to use any of these, how I'll be able to do that? By directly calling the function name. I'll say example dot. Now you can see by using this only, I am getting all my functions that are made inside this class scope along with the variable. And I directly can say I want to use this demo1. Okay, I don't have anything inside it. So I'll save it and I'll run it. Python run. Okay. Okay, it's giving me an error. Just a minute. Okay, so now there was the brackets were not put in over here. So if I'll run it, now it's giving me the output. Same way, if I want to access this variable a, I'll say print. I'll keep it like this. I'll say print. I want to use my variable now. So I'll say example dot a. Okay, I'll save it and I'll run it. So you can see that by using the object only, how easily I am accessing all the variables. So this is the connection that we have to make to use any of the class. Okay, this is the connection that we have made. Now likewise, as many times as I can use this class name and can make multiple objects. Right, if I'll do it again, if I'll go back to my Eclipse and I'll again say example. And now my second object has been created. I'll just use the comment statements now. Object1, right? And this is my object 2. So in the memory somewhere, these objects will be having some memory allocated to them. That's why they will be storing these local variables and functions. Okay, but the question is that if I'll use this only, the class name only, I am using it 2 times, right? But now I'm not able to understand which is my object 1 and which is my object 2 while using it. So what I'll do is I'll create a reference to this part. Okay, how I can do that? In the if I'll take this, I'll create a reference and I'll name it as E. Okay, now this E, if I'll just talk normally, this E is nothing specified, it's just a variable you can say. But this variable is going to, if I'll just, this is my reference that I have just created. And now this reference will do one thing, it will point to this memory location where my object has been created and the memory has been located to it. Okay, so whenever I am accessing this variable E, which is referring to the object, I'll be accessing the functions and local variables from that point of the object. Okay, now if I'll go back and I'll say E dot, right, if still I'm getting the same information that there are 3 functions inside my class and there is 1 variable. So I'll simply can use it. Likewise, I was doing with the class, I can simply do this. I'll save it and I'll run it. So you can see it's giving me the same example. Just now, when I'm creating a new object, this is a name that has been specified and this variable will be referring. So in future, when I have to change this variable or change the values, it will be helping me to do that. Okay, this was something about the object and object referencing. So you need to be very careful about it because at the point of interviews, sometimes these questions are asked that how you can create an object and how do you refer to that. Okay, so this was something that I wanted to inform. So you can make the example by yourself also. You can do this by your own and make just the object of the class and try using it. Okay, try making different objects and then try to make the different referencing to it. Okay, so this was all about this video. Thank you.